Hello, everyone. I am happy to be here, and I'm happy for those who are here already. And I want to thank Robert for the donation. And we have Ruth here. My guest, Terry, has not arrived yet. Um, I hope she does arrive at some point. And if she doesn't, we'll just chat. We'll just talk about things. And there's a lot of things to talk about. Man, these planetary alignments have got things kind of wonky. I know for myself, it's really it brings up a lot of like past relationships and reflecting back and looking at things, and I see that in clients as well and friends that I talk to. It's the new moon is coming. I think it's a June 17th, and I have a note in my calendar that day to really look at choices. And it's not just the choices and in decisions that I make throughout the day, but relationships and discernment with partnerships. Could be friends, dating, or even business. And more likely for me, I think it would be the business. I'm moving and shaking here, and I just was talking to a friend this morning about I feel like I am over my head with technology, and I kind of am looking for a partner, virtual assistant, something along that lines. I was so proud of myself because I got my schedule, my calendar on my website, and I was like, "Yay! Finally, you can just go right to my website and schedule," which you still can do at this point. But now the program for the calendar on my website, Gmail, because of the scammers, they're not allowing like third party unless I'm already connected to the person. Will they be able to link that to my Gmail calendar? So I was like, oh boy, I only did this like 4 months ago. And I was like, yay, I accomplished that. Watching YouTube channels, which we can learn so much from YouTube. I've taught myself a lot of things with YouTube videos. So I'm thinking, well, I could really use help there because I don't really want to put the time and energy into learning other options, because I want to be able to put my time and energy into my vocation. And that's, helping others, counseling, spiritual guidance, giving messages, doing readings. Those things are where my time and energy is best spent. But there's a lot of other projects that Spirit has been giving me to do, and I have found people to assist me with some of those. And so I'm putting that out there. I guess I'm talking about this because someone is listening, or someone will be listening to the recorded, that maybe can partner with me and help me out with some of this other stuff and help expand the business and reaching more and more people and have ideas. It's like even just with my travel, setting up events. Some of them you just put applications in, and or you're in already, and then some of them, you have to get approvals, and then you pay when you put in the application, and some of them you don't, and some of them take deposits, and it's not the full payment. And did I book the lodging? And I have color coded in my calendar, but I still feel like, it's like it's so much. And I talk about the importance of balance in life. So that is why it's like I still have to keep my balance. I still have to have my private time, my soul care time, which I do every morning. So I don't even get lost in the day. I already have done my prayer, my meditation, my journaling. If I'm doing any kind of manifestation affirmation work, I get that all done in the morning, so it never gets lost. Even when I'm on the road, I sometimes shorten it, but I do it because that's what's keeping me grounded and keeping me able to continue in my day. It's so important. I can't stress that enough. Hi, Kim. Thank you for joining. I'm so happy that you're here. Um, so it's like that balance is important. So I really don't want to be losing that with putting energy into learning more about technology when it's really not. Sometimes we have to ask for help. So help, anybody out there, help me, because I can't do it all. I can remember when I first started in business, which when I first started in business, I was in the food industry. And I always joked about my resume comes full circle because I worked in the bakery cafe industry. I had owned one, and and after I sold that, I went back to school and I became a specialized clinical tech, and I worked in cardiology with phlebotomy and things like that. And so I joke because it's like my resumes come full circle. I hardened your arteries, then I detected it, and then I helped prevent it, and now I'm helping with the spiritual. So it really did. I did come full circle, but I got a lot of knowledge about business, working in business and having a business. And my family were all business owners. Thank you, Kim, for the donation. It's greatly appreciated. And I will get to some readings, and Robert's ahead of you, and then you will be next. So my dad was a funeral director, so I was around that business and that that knowledge of being respectful and taking care of those things that you need to do being a business owner. And then my brother and I got into the bakery business. He owned the bakery. I was his manager at a young age. I was decorating cakes professionally before I was out of high school. And then when he took over that bakery and bought it, I was the manager of 2 stores at the age of 18. So I've learned a lot about business along the way, skinned my knees. But with the technology, when I got into my own business, I remember taking a entrepreneur program at the community college, and I did some weekend classes with computers, and it was back with DOS, the green screen. And that was a long time ago. And probably some of the people listening to this show, they don't even know what it is. But if you watch like an old crime police detective show on TV and they got the big monitors with that green screen, that's exactly what it was. But I did learn a lot, and it did carry over. And like I said, I learned a lot from YouTube. But it is frustrating. But the challenges are always stepping stones for growth. So this right now for me, where I'm at, is to be able to ask for help. Um, being a Leo, being a Leo from New Jersey, I am one of those people, or had been most of my life, is I got this. I can take care of this. I don't need your help. And it wasn't until I moved to Florida and I had things going on, and one of the people that I met who I became friends with said to me once, "You damn Yankee, you need to learn how to ask for help." So I could still hear him saying that to me. So I've learned over time that it's not a sign of weakness. It's also like the questions that go unasked, they're the stupid ones. Because I can remember being in school thinking, oh, yeah, well, if I ask that question, everybody's going to think I'm stupid. And I should have asked a lot more questions than I did throughout the years in school. And it was stupidity that I didn't. Ego, who knows? Worrying about what other people think, doing those things. But yeah, so I'm asking for help. I'm putting it out there, and feel okay to do that. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to share emotion. Here I am. I am a professional, I'm a minister, I'm a psychic, I am a counselor, and I still need help too, because I'm a human being. I'm a spiritual being in this human form. And it's really opening up. That's the teacher. When I can share some of my hardest raw truths with others, it's the best way to help others. They get a better understanding. They can look at you on the same level. I remember when I got into personal training, I would share my story with people because I could relate. I battled with weight. I wasn't that, athletic cheerleader girl that was fit and perfect in high school. I came a long, hard road. And by sharing myself and being real and authentic, I ended up with a lot of training clients. And it really taught me that to show your truth, your authenticity, don't be embarrassed by the things that we've been through, the pains we have suffered, the mistakes we have made, because someone else is going to learn from that. They are going to have growth in that. Um, so be bold. Be bold to be who you are. Be bold to share your truth, share your stories, as painful as they were. And when you share, it helps you also. As you go through healing and clearing and releasing things of the past, you can talk about things a lot easier because that negative emotion isn't there anymore. That's when you really know that you have healed through something, because you can visit it and talk about it without having all that upsetment and emotion attached to it. And it takes some time, it really does. But there's a lot of things. Hello, Richard. Nice to see you. Oh, you were on Twitter. I don't know how all this works yet either, but I do appreciate the donations. It does help the show going, and I will get to some messages later because it looks like I'm not going to have my guest. I hope she's okay. I haven't heard back from her. I text her. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But it is my show, so here I am, and that's all you need. I showed up. So when you share yourself, it helps spread the light. We're here to love and uplift others. I've said that before. I say it all the time. And in this world today, that's what we need. We need people to create that ripple effect, to reach out to others, to be authentic, to be their truth, to share their story. And everyone is struggling now with one thing or another. I look at the way the finances are, the uncertainty of the world. I've noticed that doing events, even in my business, uh, people are struggling. They're not spending money. They're not out there. They're scared, but they need help. They do need help to know that they're not alone and to know that they can trust people, that there are people out there that are willing to help them, that want to help them. So, random acts of kindness. Be a good neighbor. When Jesus said, love one another, it was not just the ones that think the way you think. We have to love everyone, whether we agree with them or not. That's the law. Do right, be kind to others. Everything that we do, my last counseling client today, we spoke about how important intention is. And it's the intention behind the action with others. And we were particularly talking about family members in that case, but it's the same with everything. Whatever you do, you should have a loving intention behind it. And even with healers, we talked about this. I do a think tank when I can make it once a month. It's on a Friday night, and with my travel, a lot of times I don't make it. But a few months ago, we talked about the importance of the intention behind the healing. It's even when I give messages, and I'm sure you know, Ruth and Robin and Marcia and you know, Tiffany, all of us here at Goldylocks, when we open up to receive messages, we only allow in for the highest best. You know, the messages that will assist someone to bring them to their next level, to their highest best, because that's what it's about. It's really just bringing in that love. And we need it so much more today than we've ever done before. And I was talking earlier about the planets and the alignments and, you know, checking your choices. I also have noticed a lot of people are changing their lives in big ways. You know, there's people, you know, look how popular van life is. I've even considered it. Um, but, you know, selling off all your stuff and just traveling and enjoying life because you see how precious it is. And the things that we were raised to trust and believe in are not truth. You know, it's collapsing around us. Another thing that has been coming to my mind a lot is I hear from, you know, in meditation, Spirit's been saying, reminding me of home or going home and things like that. And it's not, you know, I'm going home like I'm leaving this body or I'm stepping out of this body. It's more of that that unconditional love of my parents. You know, it's that is the thing that I miss probably most in my life, and I don't have that home to go to anymore. My parents are both gone, um, but that connectedness and what does that look like for me? But it also reminded me of stories like my mom and dad, my grandparents. They would say, you know, oh, back in the old days, or they wouldn't understand the music you listen to or the way you dress, and it made me realize that I'm at that stage in my life, you know, and it's the evolution. And last week, I think it was, when I talked about faith and the evolution of our faith and how that changes as we grow and change. Well, it's the same thing with the world and life around us. So I can identify with those times that I remember hearing my grandmother, my grandfather, or my parents talking about the way things were. Because now here I am looking at, you know, how times have changed. You know, music has changed. People have changed in big ways that, you know, I never even would think of. The computer, as I was talking about before, you know, I saw it begin. You know, I lived through that time. The cell phone, you know, I can remember when the first cell phone came out. It was a huge box and you had it in your car for emergencies. Now it's like everything's at the touch of a finger, and it was not like that. I grew up in the time where we were still going through encyclopedias to do our homework and to research, and card catalogs in the library and things like that. And it is just in I'll be 61 in August, and then that's a short lifespan so far. What has changed? So, you know, you can really see that we're always evolving. Things are always changing, whether it's for the best or not. I believe that it's always in divine order. But for us personally, we may not think it's for the best because of the uncomfortableness of change. It's change can feel very, it's uncertain and it's not what we're familiar with. So it's uncomfortable because we are creatures of habit. And when people change our habits or the way things are, we have a hard time with it. And that's another big thing, to have acceptance. Ah, Robert says he remembers using a phone booth. I do too. And I remember you could make a collect call if you didn't have the dime. And if it was just a quick call, while the operator was, on the other end, you said, pick me up at wherever and hang up real quick. So nobody paid for it. And you got the message across. And Kim said, I was just telling someone about my first skateboard with metal wheels and how hard it was to ride. I remember the metal wheel skateboards, and they were really small, not like what they ride now, not at all. But yeah, that's evolution, and we're always evolving. So what's going on now is that that breakdown to rebuild, to change the evolution. And it is a blessing because our country really wasn't headed in a good direction. Right now, it seems like it's headed in a worse direction, but I feel like at the end, it's going to be better. It's really all for the good. And if I'm not an astrologer, I wish I could understand more, but I started to follow astrology, and I think I spoke about this in the past show, um, because of the similarities I saw in clients with moon changes, the moon phases, and things like that. And I really encourage you to look at astrology. And I plan on having an astrologer, my astrologer, who does my chart for me twice a year as a guest, eventually. And it really, I feel for me, it shows a lot of what helps me understand what's going on with my changes in my life and what's occurring. Hello, Robin, beautiful soul. Cosmic Soul Food. How are you, my dear? Oh, Robert calls you the Dragon Whisperer. I like that. I like that. So, yeah, so I encourage you to look into your astrology chart if you've never had it done, because it does help understand. There's so much to this, the connectedness of all of us and all of the universe and everything around us. You look at the moon phases and the tides, how that all connects, and it's so vast. It's like it's so much more than our peanut minds could ever comprehend. That it blows your mind thing, because we don't have the capability of really grasping it all. There are so many different. It it really boggles my mind. The more I hear, the more I see. I was just talking to Marcia. Her show is on Monday nights in Enlightened Heights. We were just on the phone today. We talked yesterday and today. We talk a lot. We help each other through a lot of stuff. Um, and I was saying, she was telling me about the book she's reading, and I love it because Marcia, it works so much with the fairies, and she's into the Vikings and the gods and all those things that I'm unfamiliar with, because I work more with the Holy Spirit and angels and Jesus. And I just love it because there's such a connectedness, and she helps me understand. Kim says, yes, many planetary influences going on past few years, and especially this summer. Changing of the Gods is a good show to watch, explaining historical cycles with the planet. And where's that? What platform is that show on, Kim? If you could put that in the comments, that would be great. I never heard of it, but I love to get recommendations for things like that. So I've attended a lot of live events over the years with different spiritual healers and people that do this type of work on YouTube. Thank you, Kim. Um, and it's amazing. And when I do my ministerial studies, and you look at all the sacred texts, it's the same message in different verbiage. There's a lot of things that were left out in the Bible, um, but when you look at all of it, it really it says all the same thing. It's pretty simple, but we have to remove, clear away all of that false programming that we received so we can free ourselves to explore the vastness, to accept the understanding, and to see the connection and the spirituality and the sacredness of Mother Earth and Father Sky, and how we connect to the trees and the fish and the moon and everything, how we're all one. I really I'm blown away by it, and I encourage you all to really start to tap into it, and go with what resonates with you. Like I said, with what Marshall connects to for her messages and the way she does her work versus what I do, because it's what resonates with us, what comes to us. So it's, when I talk to people, and because I meet a lot of people at the live events that are just embarking on spiritual awakening and enlightenment, and I always tell them to listen to their intuition, that gut instinct. When you think, oh yeah, you run to a metaphysical store and you buy every crystal and every, sage and Palo Santo and every oil and every tuning fork. It's like, you don't need all that. You need what works for you, because basically it all does the same thing. It is a tool of healing and clearing. So it's not all of it's meant for everyone. Neither is the spiritual healer or the psychic, who you choose to go to, the acupuncturist. You discern. I mentioned that when I mentioned about the new moon coming up. Look at choices, look at relationships, discern what's truly right for you. But first, you have to clear that false program belief of who you really are. And once you start to lift that from yourself, then you'll be able to really know what it is that connects with you. Who your truth is, your soul being is. And you step away from what you were programmed to believe you are, because we all have it. We all have it. We all watched TV, we still do. We all listened to commercials. We all looked at the advertisement, the TV dinners, the tasty cakes, the candy bars, you know, the airbrush models, the runway models. You have to be a stick figure to be attractive. You have to do this to have that. It's like, no, you don't. You have to be the divine being you are. We're all created in love. And that is truth. Okay, speaking of commercials, I'm going to take a minute for a commercial for my sponsor. So I got to put a word in here for the intention Teddy. They are the cutest, softest things ever. I love them. I love the idea. When I met her, I was like, this is so awesome. I've seen other ones that are nowhere near, and they were not the with the pouch that you can put the intention in and change it. I truly, truly love them. I'm so happy they are my sponsor. And I encourage you, get yourself your intention bear. And I'm happy to have my first sponsor. So while I'm speaking of sponsors, I would like you to know that you can sponsor a show, any one of Goldylocks shows, if you care to. Just reach out and you can get the link. And also remember that these donations that you give really helps us big time to keep these shows going. and keep us going. And every little bit helps. So I want to thank you all, and I want to thank the Intention Bear, the Intention Teddy, for being my sponsor this month. So it's very good. So, and I was not even thinking about that when I was talking about commercials. So it worked out perfect because this is my first sponsored commercial show that I'm having. So, the, Robin's talking to Ruth. I thought she was like, she wanted a message. Um, so, yeah, so when you think back at how ads and all of that affects us and programs us, it's amazing. You know, when you see a logo right away, you know where it's connected. You know, like Coca-Cola, for instance, or Nike, or any of those. It's like you don't even have to see the words; you just know. So that's how programmed we are. It goes along with everything. It's like needing to run to the doctor when you have an itch, or it's crazy. I'm watching something on Peacock, and I pay for Peacock. I don't know why, because I was getting commercials, so I had to look into what that was all about. But it was like every commercial was about a drug or a vaccine. So, and it's like, even if you don't have the symptoms, by the time you're done with that commercial, you start second guessing it. Hi, Kim. Thank you for joining us. Happy you could be here. So, it's amazing. It's amazing. And people listen. It's like when I did fitness training and nutrition, I used to tell clients, when you're watching TV and the commercial comes on, get up and walk around the house, walk away, because that Burger King ad's going to come on. And next thing, you're going to be in that refrigerator looking for something to eat, because that's what it's programmed to do. And it's the same thing with drug companies. It really amazes me that they are allowed to have advertising, because I remember when smoking was so popular, everybody smoked. I lived in a house with parents smoking, my grandparents, everybody smoked. It was the in thing to do. And then when cancer and the connection to the cigarettes and nicotine came about, they banned the cigarette commercials because they weren't good for your health, but they still were advertising alcohol. But now they can advertise all these drugs and vaccines, which are very questionable in my eyes. I just caught a video clip all about the I don't want to say anything because I don't want to get kicked off. But the most recent vaccine, the most recent jab, they were saying, a lot of things about how long that's been around, and it was a whole bunch of smoke screens. So once again, because we are programmed, and the way that stuff comes around is put people in fear first, because then when you put them in fear, you can manipulate them. And so again, that goes back to clearing the crap, getting to know who you are. Who's your soul being? Hi, Joyce. I'm happy that you found us. She's new here. Welcome, welcome. And we're glad to have you. And put in the comments where you found us. How did you come about to be here for new? And you're from Facebook, so you must be one of my Facebook people. Happy to have you. So yeah, it's clearing that crap away to really know who you are, because once you can stand in that truth, man, that gives you so much power. Once you connect to your soul being, your purpose, it really takes you on a whole nother road, another level. So I guess my guest is not arriving. I never heard from her. And since I planned on having a guest, I really didn't plan on, talking. So I didn't really have a topic. So I'm going to just keep going on my rattle here. Ruth recommends you. Oh, thank you so much, Ruth. I really I'm going to connect with you, Ruth, because I just was talking to Tiffany about how I feel a similarity and connection with you. And I would love to have a conversation with you. We can't have lunch like Robin and I do on occasion, which, Robin, we are due for lunch. I'm waiting for you. So I spoke a little bit about the astrology, and I plan on having an astrologer on because it really is so important to get an understanding of the circumstances and the energy that are outside of us and what's creating these shifts that are occurring, because the shifts not just occurring in the world, they are occurring on a very personal level. You know, things are being brought up within all of us. So, Robin, you ready for lunch? Well, send me a text. I'm here. I'm here next week too. I'm doing an event in Richmond on Sunday, and the Illuminate Richmond this Sunday, and then I'll be here. And then I have an event next Saturday right here in Norfolk, very close. Um, so I'm very warm in here. I got to tell you, I'm at the library because I've had such disruption with my internet where I live. I'm working on getting a booster. I ordered it. Hopefully that's going to do the trick. And I'm in this study room, and it is Norfolk. That is how you say Norfolk. I'm from Jersey. That's how I say it. Tiffany correcting me. So, but I'm very warm in this room, just so you know that if I'm starting to look like it's not a hot flash, I'm just warm. Those things are long over for me. Astrology tells a person every single thing about all of our incarnations. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. It's really it's Norfolk. Yeah, well, I've done my best. I get, and I've lived in the South and I still don't get it. I lived, in South Carolina for a while, and I heard it. I heard it that it's like speaking another language. And I'll tell you what, y'all from North Carolina, wow, that's hard to understand sometimes. I think it's interesting. I've traveled all over the United States, and well, I've traveled outside the United States as well. But it's so interesting, accents and language, how it changes in areas and words that are used and how they're used. Even in the small state of New Jersey, if they're North Jersey, they talk more like sopranos than, and then I'm more like central to New Jersey. Then South Jersey is like Philadelphia kind of. It's just fascinating. Upstate New York. So you got an accent. How do you say Norfolk? But you can tell. I usually can't tell where people are from, but people, they pick up the Jersey from me. For a while, I was on the west coast of Florida in St. Pete area for probably 11 years, and I kind of got a little blended. But now that I'm closer to New Jersey and I spend more time there, the Jersey's back. It's there's no hiding it. Robin says, I thought I was doing the Vintage Trixie show. Somehow it did not go through. I am friends with the owner and have done her shows for the past several years. She finally got back to me. Oh, well, that's the show I'm doing, and it's my first time doing it, so I'm excited. I'm sorry that you missed it. I hope you just come to check it out. That would be lovely to see you. I was told this is Joyce, I was told while in Arizona I had a New York accent. Yeah, I lived in New Mexico for a while in Albuquerque, and yeah, it was really obvious there. I was much younger then too. I think that I kind of worked on pronunciation a little bit better over the years, because everybody kind of talks slang now. It's, you don't, I catch myself when I want to answer yes and I say yeah, like wait. It's like it should be yes, not yeah. But then again, who cares? Who cares? There are great people, so they are great people. So I did not understand. Oh, about not getting into the event. I think it's full. I got in there. Ooh, it was so long ago. I almost forgot that I was in there. And then I had to look. I'm like, okay, because I have it on my calendar as the Vintage Trixie event, and then I'm like, well, where is that? I didn't even know. And somebody called me today about another one that I put in that I wanted information about. I was like, can you tell me where that is? Yeah, I do need that assistant that I was talking about earlier in the show. Because it is getting a little much. I mean, there's nights that I'm in bed and I'll be like, pop my eyes up and say, oh, do I have lodging set up for this weekend? Like, I can't even remember. And like I said, I color code my calendar, but it's not just all that. It's still seeing clients and doing that other work. So, I am open to having an assistant. So is Robert still on here? Because Robert he was the first one up with a super sticker. Are you still here, Robert? Because I want to give you your message. So, Robert, what there's big changes coming for you, my dear. It's a, a huge shift, and even getting that there's a physical move coming in. And I feel like it's going to be like 6 to 8 months. You're going to start to look into that, and it's something that you haven't even give thought to, but there are going to be opportunities presenting to you. They're saying to stay open and receptive, not to, have the blinders on, think outside the box. But there's big change ahead. And start to step out, um, attend groups, meet new people, expand your horizons. You are going to step into your purpose, your soul purpose. You're hungry for it, and it's time. They're telling me that it's coming. So keep looking, keep expanding, keep staying open, and not keep that old way of processing the thoughts, like getting a paycheck, having a traditional job, the traditional way of the way we were brought up and what we were supposed to be doing, because it's like I'm getting like they're giving me like the wall is crumbling down so your vision can be clear. So I hope that helps you and makes some sense for you. I'm so happy I got to meet Robert in person a couple weeks ago at the Allentown event. We actually have a picture of us floating somewhere. I think it's on the Goldylocks Telegram. But it's so nice to have got to meet you in person and be in your energy, and also to be now a part of your journey and to see you grow and where you're going. You're headed great things coming your way. All right. And thank you again for the super sticker. And the next person who gave a donation and asked for a message is Kim. So Kim, let me see what they have for you. So Kim, they're putting you in a field of like wild flowers. I feel that you are very connected to Mother Earth. And I don't know if you garden, but I feel like that is very therapeutic for you to get your hands in the soil. Um, and I feel like it's your grandmother that's coming forward, she's like acknowledging you and keeping up the good work. So I don't know what you're doing. I also feel like you have change not coming. I feel like you're either just made some major changes or you're in the process of making some changes or new direction in your life. Um, it's they're giving me like a book, which I feel that's new study, and not it doesn't necessarily mean formal education as much as just personal expansion study. You're moving forward, learning a lot more things, and they're really giving me the plants, the greenery. I don't know if this is something that you do or something that you are interested in, but it's like herbology, studying herbs, making teas, coming up with tinctures, those kind of things. I feel that the energy is giving me that. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not, but that's what they're giving me. So hopefully that will give you some direction if you're not. But I do feel like you're already doing some of this stuff and making some changes because it's like very present. It's not like something that's coming in the future. Um, but I leave that with you, and I hope that helps you. If you want to put something in the comments, that would be great. Um, and I don't think I know I didn't have any other donations, so let's see if anybody else asked for a message. I think I did see somebody. And I usually try to write it down, but I'm sorry I didn't. I guess not. I guess not. I guess there wasn't anybody else that wanted a message. It was just Robert. Wait, I got a new comment here. Okay. Yes, I just started selling. Ah, so you're selling a tincture. I'm about to bottle my second batch. Everyone loves it for sleep. Right on the money. See? So I don't know. Did your grandmother, was she connected with, the kitchen and gardening and, mixing up, that healing chicken soup? All right, now I'm confused. I got to go back. Uh, Kim. So is there two Kims? I guess there's two Kims. Let me go back. Oh yes, there's Kim Smith. All right, that was the one who gave me the donation that I just did the reading for. So I got to ask you, Kim Smith, if your grandmother did things like that because she came in with that. She's so proud of you. So let me know if there's a connection there. So I have Kim O and Richard. All right, let's do that. And Kim is also about to make a fur baby batch of topical CBD cream. Yes, grandmother taught me lots about gardening and cooking. But so that she was definitely acknowledging that and confirming it with that connection. So I'm going to leave that with you. And okay, now I'm going to go to Kim O. Let's see what they have for you. So Kim O, the first thing that came to me is taking flight. It was like, girl, you're spreading your wings. You are ready to go. It was like a huge wingspans. Oh, now I'm getting goosebumps. So this is like, we're right on the target here for you. Um, it's like you were for a very long time cocooned like the caterpillar, and you are just really spreading those wings and flying. You're no longer worrying about whether other people think. I feel like you are stepping out and off of the, I don't want to say off of the grid, but you're not going along with societal beliefs. You're just doing your thing, and you're really finally happy stepping into that truth and knowing who you are. And there's a lot of great things ahead for you as well, because you are trusting. You know, the wings, the expansion, the wings that I got, and that you're ready to fly. They're also giving me that it's like the wings of the angel are surrounding you, embracing you, moving you through. Um, it's like I feel like you're climbing up in a career, whether you're changing the career or you're moving up the ladder, because they're giving me like you're climbing up, and it's like up to greater success, greater prosperity, and not to worry about it. Um, Look at the decisions that you're making. Trust in your discernment and in your intuition. You got this. You definitely got this, whatever this is for you. But yeah, soar, my dear, because that's what they're telling me. And I'm going to leave that with you. Thank you very much. And then the next one is Richard. So, Richard, I got a man with a hat. Whether I don't think it's you that wears hats. I feel like it's your a father or grandfather. It's and I don't know the kind of hats a man would wear in like the 50s with his suit. Um, it's like I'm getting this energy, like, you know, you don't have to sell yourself. It's like you really push a little too hard sometimes because you are enough. It's like they're giving me like, it's time to believe you are enough. Stop pushing, looking, and it's not so much looking for improvement. It's like you're pushing yourself, thinking you're not enough. It's not even like worrying about what other people think kind of energy I'm getting. It's more about your own thoughts. Be very mindful of your self-talk, because you are um, like a prisoner in your own mind at times. Not always, but at times. So just trust in that you are enough. You're doing the right things. Um, and close the questions, and you don't have to sell yourself to anyone. You have to believe in yourself. I hope that helps you. And thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And I got a message here from Robin. I will buy you lunch, Mary. I just found another feather today. My guide said, listen to the ancestor of the wind as they carry you to the new level of consciousness. That's beautiful, Robin. You know, you brought up ancestor. I want to share this because we talk about. You're welcome, Kim. Thank you very much for being here. You're welcome, Richard. Thank you for being here. So with ancestors, you know, there's so much about healing of the ancestors, and that when we are the ones here doing the healing, it's for the ancestral chain. Well, it was just brought to my attention by my guides and my grandmother, that I bring into this world a lot of strength from my ancestors, and I feel like the healing that I did. This is on my personal level, but I'm telling you the story because I want you all to also acknowledge the strength and the positive things that come in from ancestral. It's not always healing from the ancestors. But the things that I felt that I carried in that I know didn't need to carry in was physical things, crippling arthritis, things like that. That just because it's in that ancestral chain, it didn't have to be part of me. So, and I realized when this message came to me in meditation, is that I did draw a lot of strength from my grandmother. And I looked back at that, and there were times in my life I would think to myself, her blood runs through my veins. So I got this and I can do this. And it's an honor. I have some beautiful ancestral lines, and we all do. So it's like anything, where our attention goes, our energy flows. So if we focus on the negative or things that we have to heal with our ancestors, we're bringing in that energy. Not saying that we don't need to heal things, but we also need to focus on the strength and the power our ancestors had and the things that they overcame, because that we can hold on to and use for support as we heal some of the other stuff and as we move through this very challenging life that weaves in and out and constantly is changing and forever in motion. So I hope that message about the ancestors, and thank you, Robin, for your message about listen to the ancestor of the wind, because it brought that to mind. And I feel like there's someone out there that needs to hear that, because we really like to look at the negative sometimes, and there's so much more positive. It's like this world and what's going on in this world. There's good in the world, and there's a lot of good people out there. Look at Goldylocks, look at the production, look at the hosts, look at the VIPs, look at the people who are joining us all the time. In the live chat, there are a lot of good people, and I'm happy to be here, to be a part of it, to spread the love and the light, to be part of this tribe. And that's what it's like. It's a family, it's a tribe. All of you that join us, you're family, and you're here because you belong here, because there's a reason. Like minds stick together. We uplift each other. We don't pull each other down. And that's what we're all about. So create that ripple effect. This week, go out there, spread your wings, shine your light, go, 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 and spread it. Get the message out there that we are loved. I thank you all for being here. Thank you. I hope it was a fantastic show. It's kind of was on the cuff because my guest, I have to find out what happened to her, but I pray that all is well with her. And something just came up, but it really was off the cuff because I was not prepared to just talk the whole hour, but it was lovely. And I hope I made some sense and I didn't repeat too much, because I kind of have a tendency, especially with reading the chat. I talked about my technology challenge. So this whole thing with the live chat going and keeping up on it and staying on topic and being interesting and getting the messages out there that need to be heard and to be said. It's a little bit of a challenge, but each week I get better. So, and somebody sent me a whole thing about starting a new podcast and the time it takes, but I'm sticking it out. I'm learning, I'm skinning my knees. I found a way to get a better internet, and here I am in the library, and thank you for Public Library and all that they offer. Thank you all again for being here live, or those who listen to the recorded. You can find me at wellnessmary.com. That's on there. You can schedule appointments with me through the website. And I wish you all abundant blessings and peace and love. Thank you so very much, and take care. See you next week.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show.